This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our show, Heartbeat.
Ay, marami pong salamat.
Marami rin yung lalaki, ang ayaw rin ng divorce.
Change, meaning introduction of new policies.
Natutuwa ako na
Dito,
And
Bingo.
all that, or just katito.
buwan ng linggo ng kanyang panunungkulan. And
It went from 5 peso and 30 centavos.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to our show, Heartbeat Live. Ako po ang inyong host, si Ray Orosa. Kakapiling tayo dito. Pag-usapan natin mga bagay na mahalaga sa ating bansa. Alam mo po, noong isang linggo, pinag-usapan natin ang pagbabago ng charter ng BSP. Medyo dinagsa tayo ng katakot-takot na tanong. Dahil sa medyo komplikado ang issue, minarapat ko na siguro sa gabing ito, medyo pag-usapan pa uli natin yung mga issue involved in the charter changes. Anong hinahangad ng Bangko Sentral para baguhin ang kanilang charter. At ito ay magkakaroon ng medyo malaki pong epekto sa kalawakan ng ating ekonomiya. So, wala pa tayong panauhin ngayong gabi. So, yung mga naipon po ng mga tanong, ayun ang ating medyo tatalakayin sa gabing ito. At saka yung iba pang mga issue na mahalaga na hinihingi rin ng Bangko Sentral na baguhin sa kanilang charter. Unang-unang masasabi siguro natin dyan ay hindi lang yung karagdagang kapital ang hinahangad ng Central Bank, pero yan po ay isang issue na mahalaga na kailangan ding matingnan at ma-examine. Over the last 5 years, lugi sila ng lugi taon-taon na kailangan nila ngayon madagdagan at humihingi silang karagdagang 150 bilyon na kapital para po ito ay magkaroon daw sila ng financial stability. Actually, ang katotohanan niyan, the amount of capital of the central bank, because it is fully owned by the Republic of the Philippines, at saka sila lang ang mayroong kapangyarihan mag-issue ng salapi, yung mga paper currency, for example, it's not so much a question of how much capital they have, it's a question of confidence in the Bangko Sentral, and as more and more than that, the confidence of the people and the public in the government. Yun ang mas mahalagang konsiderasyon diyan. Pero bakit tayo medyo problemado diyan sa ating kailangan dagdagan ng kapital? At yan po ay dahilan sa ang Bangko Sentral taon-taon nalulugi ng salapi. Wala naman tumitingin kung ano nangyayari at ba't sila nalulugi at ba't ganun kalaki. So dito sa aking tingin po dito, yan lang ang bahagi ng pamahalaan na pwedeng malugi ng malugi, walang tumitingin kung sino man. And it is important na, at saka kung meron man tumitingin dyan, of course, it is only the monetary board. Tapos the monetary board cannot discuss any matters that they discuss publicly. So parang nagiging masyadong sarado ang kalagayan. So kailangan sigurong tingnan na at ma-examine, maglagay ng oversight committee either in Congress or in the Senate who can review not just the operations of the central bank, at yan ay dapat ding maripaso, but also to oversee how much losses they incur on an annual basis. Para yung paggastos mula sa kaban ng bayan na walang nangangasiwa at tumitingin at walang merong pwedeng magtanong kung bakit nagkaroon ng ganong kalaking kalugihan. Kasi ito po 150 billion na hinihingi ng Bangko Sentral. Gusto nila ilagay ng pamahalaan yan 50 billion a year for the next 3 years. At sa akin tingin po habang dahil sa malaki ng masyadong lugi ng Central Bank, ng Bangko Sentral, dapat siguro taasan ng kanilang kapital, pero hindi maaari na taasan yan na walang mga kondisyon na inilalagay upang maaaring siyasatin ng maigi kung itong mga luging ito ay kailangan at bakit ito sa kanilang ginawa. At kailangan lagi mo siyempre doon sa mga oversight committee dyan, yung mga taong medyo nakakaintindi ng pagtakbo ng ekonomiya, para hindi naman sila basta't mapupulaan sa kanilang mga ginagawa ng mga tao hindi naman naintindihan ang kanilang sinasabi. Alright? So dito, umpisahan uli natin itong mga tanong na ito. from 0916-464-0661 from Bertong Api. Mr. Rosa, hindi po kaya matakot ang mga negosyante sa hindi pa pagrespeto sa bank secrecy law ng mga senador? Hindi po ng mga senador yan, bank secrecy law ng mga senador, bawal talaga pong i-reveal yan. There is only one way na ang kalagayan ng or sino man ang behind sa deposito o pangalang nakadeposito doon ay maaring ilantad ng mga bangko. At yan po ay sa pamamagitan ng magpa-file ka sa isang special court under the AMLA or the law, yung anti-money laundering law na meron tayo. At hindi yung pagsisiyasat lang na, oy, tingnan ko nga kung merong account ito, tapos mag-apply ka. No. You must show evidence of some kind of possible criminal activity engaged in by the person, kanya mo matitingnan yan. Yung nangyari po doon sa impeachment ni Corona, the truth of the matter is they violated the law because they did not go to before the AMLA board to ask for that information, basta dinukot nila sa bangko. Sa mga bangko yan. Yun po ang malaking problema dyan. Because that was a clear violation of the Bank Secrecy Act. And it is not government or Congress or the Senate who should have done it. They should be the first respecters of the law, not the first violators of the law. Alright, from 0933-947-4769. Bakit majority ng board ay from private banks? Hindi ba conflict of interest yan? Well, part of the problem with that is because the people who are in the banking system probably make up the people that would better understand the operations of the central bank. But that is not always so or necessarily so. Ang sa akin tingin dito, in the monetary board, while it requires at kailangan dyan ng konting talino in order to understand the operations of the central bank, kailangan dyan meron ding representative to protect and to represent the public interest. Kasi maraming mga pulisiya ang Bangko Sentral na nakakapinsala sa pangkaraniwang tao katulad nyo at saka ako. Ito yung halimbawa na binigay ko sa inyo the last time. Ngayon, tignan natin. Ang nagre-regula ng monetary policy, Bangko Sentral. Nag-i-implement dyan yung mga bangko ngayon sa pamamagitan ng kanilang pagbabayad ng interest doon sa mga nagde-deposito at sa kanilang sinisingil na interest sa kanilang pagpapautang. Dito natin nakikita na ito na ang sitwasyon, walang gustong tumingin, walang gustong makialam. Bakit? Hindi ko masyadong maintindihan sila kung ba't ayaw nila makialam. Na ngayon, kung ikaw nagde-deposito sa bangko, kung palagay mo lang, no, meron kang savings na maliit. Ang tanatanggap mong interest as low as 1/10 of 1% per annum. Aba, kung ang inflation rate is mga 3.5 or 4% per annum, which is a decent inflation rate, pero pag naglagay ka ng 1,000 sa bangko, kikitain mo doon 1/10 of 1% per annum, katapos ang inflation is 3.5 to 4%, pagkatapos ng isang taon, lugi ka na by about 3.5 to 4%. Ba't ka pa maglalagay ng pera sa bangko? So sa akin ito, dahil sa ang pagbabangko naman ngayon ay hindi na question ng ganito o ganon, kailangan na yan sa pangkaraniwang pamumuhay na meron kang mapaglagyan ng pera mo kaysa ilagay mo sa tampipi, hindi ba? Na mamaya, masunugan ka dyan, manakawang ka pat lahat. So for security reasons, it is wise for government to encourage people to put their money in banks kung saan magagamit ng bangko para ipahiram yan sa mga negosyante. Kanya lang, ang tinitingnan natin dito, yung diferensya mula doon sa binabayad nila sa deposito at kanilang sinisingil na interest pautang. Masyadong malaki. What does that tell you? That tells you na walang intermediation ng mga ibang financial institution para yung gap na yan ay committed ng konti para makinabang naman ng mahusay ang mga depositor na siyang ginagamit, pera nilang ginagamit ng bangko pautang. Hindi naman kanilang pera ang ginagamit nilang pautang dyan eh. So yan ang kailangan lang maintindihan na it becomes an extractive practice when you disadvantage the savers the way the current situation is doing. By having interest rates that are so low, while the lending rates are so high, at ang gap dyan, 7-8%. On the average, hindi lang yon. Yung mga savers dito, mostly individuals. Aba, paano naman ang gagawin natin? Tapos pagka-credit na hinisingil sa kanila, naku, 3.5% per month. I remember when the savings rate was a lot higher, maybe about 6, 7, 8%, aba, ang hinisingil nila 3.5% per month na. Ngayon, bumagsak ng gusto ang interest rate, Hindi na babago ang interest rate na sinisingil for personal credit under the credit card system. What is wrong? That means meron ng diferensyo structurally ang sistema, kanya wala nang ganong kompetisyon para sa pera. Yung mga malalaking bangko ngayon ang nangyari dito, kaya nila ngayon persahin, ibaba lahat ng interest rate na yon, pero hindi walang makapagpersa sa kanilang magbaba ng lending rates. What does that tell you? It is a quasi-monopolistic system. Wala nang pagkakataon ng taong bayan. Ang nangyayari dito, ang interes ng taong bayan ang siyang nasasakripisyo para payamanin yung mga mayaman na. Kawawa naman tayo. Kailangan yan, konting pagbabago dyan. From 0927-787-7497 from Rose. Sa Race, halata naman na gusto talaga ni President Aquino i-push ang charter change ng BSP. Para naman sa pansariling benepisyo ang hakbang na ito. At hindi talaga para sa interes ng taong bayan. Habang ngayon ay naiintindihan natin, sometimes I wonder if he understands what the central bank is asking on this by his pushing this BSP law. But I don't think he has certified the law. If he has certified the law as is, then I question. Ako naiintindihan ko na minsan, pag ikay magdala ng batas sa Kongreso o sa Senado, siyempre, maglalagay ka ng shopping list mo na kung maaari, kapag at nalalaman mo na pag natapos yung paglilitis, yung kanilang pag-i-examine at pagpapasa ng batas na yon, maraming magiging mababago dyan hanggang sa dulo. Ang kailangan lang, kanya natin dinatalaka ito sa ating programa, na ay malaman ninyo at magkaroon kayo ng interest, makita ninyo kung paano nilang pinangahawakan ito at magkaroon tayo ng impluensya at tinig sa paggagawa nitong batas na ito. It is not something that concerns only the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines. It concerns Juan de la Cruz. Ayun ang aking gustong sabihin. Huwag sila masyadong napakatayog ang pag-iisip na akala nila sila lang nakakaalam kung ano nangyayari. At saka kung maghahari-harian sila kung sinong payayamanin at sinong pahihirapin. Aba, it is time for an enlightened Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Kanya po ang problema dyan. Tapos ngayon, hihingi sila na kung ano man ang gawin nila, walang pwede magdemanda sa kanila maski na sino. Sa akin po, kung ang presidente pwede mo i-demanda, sila pa hindi. Kung sila hinahawakan nila ang maraming bahagi ng ating ekonomiya. At tapos kung nagkamali sila, naraming napinsala, napakaraming nalugi, napakadaming negosyong masasara. Abay, tapos wala man lang pwedeng mag-question sa kanila. Alam po ninyo, nangyari na po yan sa nakaraang rehimen ng isang governor na Bangko Sentral Governor. Na pinabayaan niyang pumanik naman ngayon ang interest rate ng pangungutang sa pakataas na umabot yun, naalala ko na mga 46, 48, 50%. Ano nangyari? Libo-libong mga negosyo ang na-wipe out dito sa bansang ito. Ano yun? Wala silang pananagutan doon? To me, that's criminal. And I don't know whether there is anybody will call those policies wisdom. I question that very, very highly. Or that there were no other alternatives that could have been used in order to control the rate of inflation or the growth of money supply. Hindi po natin pwedeng sabihin na wala na diyang marunong mag-isip. But sasabihin nila, hindi, wala na kaming magawa. Kailangan namin gawin ganito. No. You cannot predict. The Bangko Sentral of the Philippines cannot predict what will happen tomorrow. Wala sa ating nakakaalam nun. Now, of course, that is where wisdom is required. Di ba? Okay, from 0923-295-9315 from Roadrunner. What is CB doing about its consistent losses in its operations as well as its deficits for probably 5 years now? Who is checking on CB for its mismanagement and spending? Well, right now, it's only our assumption that it is being mismanaged. Although I have to question the size of the losses on an annual basis, year after year after year after year. Pero, yun ang sinabi ko kanina, kailangan magkaroon ng oversight committee dyan where the public interest is represented so that it can be examined. All right, so that you find out, you better tell the Bangko Sentral, you cannot do that, stop that, you better resign. Bakit? You are obviously mismanaging the economy by losing so much money. Kasi pag gumastos ang central bank, madalas ginagawa nila? Sinusubukan nilang impluensyahan ang monetary policy or ang monetary rates na prevailing in a country. Alright, lalo na ang foreign exchange rate na ayaw nilang biglang babagsak, biglang tataas. In a totally free economy, na for example yan, it's only demand and supply that determines kung ano ang magiging rate of exchange na prevailing. Well, kung gusto nila, wala nga pagbababayan ako dahan-dahan, pag-aakyat dahan-dahan, pabayaan nyo ganyan. And para mangyari yun, ang gagawin nila, sila ang either bibili ng foreign exchange, dinadaan sa ibang bangko, o sila magbebenging kontenta, dinadaan through selective banks para hindi masyadong mahalata na sila ang kumikilos. Pero, ang ganansya at ang lugi para sa kanila. Kanya lang, 5 taon na siguro yan dyan, puro lugi. Yan po ang ating nakikita. So, hindi po dapat yan mangyari at magpatuloy, tapos sabihin nila, ay hindi nyo kami pwedeng tingnan dito. Hari kami dito, labas kayong lahat, huwag kayong makialam. That kind of thinking is extremely dangerous. Para silang nagiging diktador doon na wala pang legal responsibility for anything. Kung ang presidente pwede mong idemanda after his term, wala naman silang dyan, protection from suit. We have to have a way of distinguishing when the Bangko Sentral is being mismanaged or whether the economy is being mismanaged. Madaling magtuturo ng daliri, ang hirap, pagkatapos sila palang gumagawa ng problema, tapos magkuhugasan ng kamay. Okay, from 0912-741-3945, from Tunying of Rizal. Matanong ko lang po, ang mga opisyal ba ng Central Bank ay appointive sa Monetary Board? Sino po ang naglalagay sa kanila? Ang Bangko Sentral Governor ay ina-appoint ng Pangulo. Ang mga miyembro ng Monetary Board, some are ex officio kasama ng Secretary of Finance and a number of other people, but most of them are also appointed by the President. So, yan po ang ating kailangan makita. Na yan naman, nasa sa Pangulo yan kung gusto niyang gawin doon o kung sinong gusto niyang i-appoint. Pero that does not mean na ang sinasabi lang natin, hindi natin nilalabanan yun. Kanya lang sabihin natin, dapat dyan mayroong representative na makakapag-represent sa taong bayan na marunong mag-isip. Hindi naman kasi dapat na mayroon yan. I don't mind if the arguments are done privately, but hindi pwedeng unanimous lahat ng desisyon dyan. Mapoproblema po talaga. Ang sinasabi ko lang, hayaan nyo makapasok naman ang hangin ng pagdedepensa sa interes ng taong bayan, maski na dyan sa Bangko Sentral. From 0932-719-2495, from Kano of Makati. Paano po kung pagkalooban ang Bangko Sentral ng kapangyarihan na tingnan ang accounts ng pinaghihinalaan kung hindi pa naman napapatunayang may sala, hindi ba nalalabag naman ang due process para sa pinaghihinalaan pa lang? Ano ang safeguard ngayon ng taong laban dyan? Wala. Kung sila ay mayroong kakayahang kunin lahat yung informasyon na yan kasi gusto mo, kasi ayaw mo. There are certain conditions that give the central bank power to look, or any other agency to look into bank accounts, and that is one, by order of a competent court under the provisions of AMLA law, which are rather clear. And the second is with the consent of the depositor. Ngayon, ang punto dito ngayon, gusto nila ngayon, pwede silang humingi at paparusahan nila ang sino man, individual o korporasyon o bangko, na hindi magbibigay ng informasyon na yon. Kanya lang, hindi naman nila sasabihin para kanila gagamitin yon. Alam po ninyo, ang Bangko Sentral does not and should not look at individual deposits. The only time the central bank starts looking at something like that is if it is in connection with a credit lending activity of the bank. Because they are entitled to review whether the loans being given by a bank, yung binibigay ng bangko sa mga korporasyon at tao, ay masyadong peligroso or baka nabigay dahil sa merong nalagyan o yung bang becomes part of unsound banking practice. Ayan. But yung to inquire into the identity of the depositor, they should be subject to the same limitations as provided in the AMLA law. They are part, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the SEC are there. They are part of the AMLA Commission. And therefore, if that is going to be so, and there are strict requirements before you go to the court, bago mo matingnan yung identity, the central bank, not for any other reason, because statistically, there is absolutely nothing which can justify their violating the Bank Secrecy Act. certainly not for statistical purposes, certainly not for any kind of economic study. You can get data about the depositor, siya ay lalaki, or siya ay ganito, or siya ay ganon. But under the Bank Secrecy Act, they should not even bother to inquire. But what they can do is they can compel the bank to say, okay, I have 100 billion deposits in my savings accounts or my current accounts. So many are in the name of individuals, so many are in the name of corporations, and so many are in the name of whatever. Pero, wala yung individual identity. Hindi binabiolate ang bank secrecy law. And for statistical reasons, I said, I really fail to understand what might be the purpose. Number 2, pagka nakuha yung informasyon na yan, sasagay dito, hindi pwedeng ibigay yan maski na kani-kanino, except by order of a competent court, which then allows any court to do so. And actually, now, no court can do so except under the AMLA law. Even a court cannot order to compel the bank to disclose who the depositor is. But the other thing that should be looked at then is, anong rason mo para tingnan? Ngayon, number 2, masasagot mo ba ang integridad ng lahat ng tao sa central bank? Alright, nakapasok yan dito sa loob ng file. Supposing I hack the computer system of the central bank who's now keeping tabs of all of this information. Huwag nilang sabihin sila napakagaling nila dito sa IT na hindi sila pwedeng ma-hack. Of course, pwede rin naman i-hack ang bangko. Bahala sila, problema nila yon. Pero ang problema dito also is, can somebody look into those files of the central bank informally? Ayan. And sometimes the problem there is enough political pressure can be applied, or enough other kinds of pressure can be applied on people down the line within the chain, within the central bank. It is better that information is not in their hands. I see absolutely no reason why they should be able to breach the bank secrecy law. From 0906-560-5779, from Leo A. Sino po ang nagre-regulate sa central bank? Who checks on them if they are going overboard their mandate? Especially kung bibigyan na pa sila ng additional powers. Right now, it's only the Monetary Board. But the chairman of the Monetary Board is the governor of the Bank Central of the Philippines. So siya din ang nakaupo doon. Paano mo examine ang sarili mo? Ala, ikwento mo sa akin. Magdadahas ba yung mga miyembro ng Monetary Board para sabihin sa'yo, nagkakamali ka? Yan. Dito ako'y nagugulat talaga. Obviously, that ito ay tinutulak ng gobernador ng Bangko Sentral, pero hindi natin malaman ang posisyon ng siguro ang Monetary Board dito, sang-ayon. Otherwise, they would not have proposed this. Yun ang problema dito, that the Monetary Board is so dominated, and there is reason for the nomination, the domination by the Bangko Sentral Governor of the Monetary Board, sapagat nasa sa kanyang balikat ang responsibilidad ng pangangasiwa. The buck stops with him. And because he is also the chairman of the Monetary Board, doon sa kanya bagsak. Kanya lamang ang tanong dito, we need an independent body. Is there an independent body that looks over their operations? And the answer to that is no. Okay, 0923-295-9315 from Roadrunner. One of the changes in the charter includes immunity from suits for BSP personnel, especially the examiners in the performance of their duties and responsibilities. Isn't this dangerous and a risk to abuse? Yes, alam po ninyo sa akin, it does not belong. There should be no waiver from any kinds of suit because many times, and I have known this because I've had experience in the banking community where I've felt the central bank has been wrong. And many times, the opinion, and this is shared by many, many bankers who will, of course, never admit it in public, that many of the personnel and the examiners of the central bank lack the competence to really understand what's going on. Kapakadali lang paikutan. At saka, yun nga, naalala nyo, last year, sinabi ko dito, binanatan, sinara ng central bank isang bangko. And they probably deserve it for many other reasons. But, naka-appoint doon yung central bank controller. Doon sa bangkong yun. And that means lahat ng transaksyon na sinasabi nyo hindi maganda, hindi maayos, dumaan sa controller. Anong ginawa sa controller? Wala. At tapos sasabihin mo ngayon, hindi sila dapat mademanda. Kung sila is hindi ginagawa ang kanilang trabaho, ay bakit mo bibigyan ng absuelto diyan para magkaroon ng para hindi na sila maaring to be held to account for their inaction, their lack of action, their incompetence, their lack of understanding or whatever. Pero sasabihin mo, it's only the performance of the duty. That is something that every public official can always claim. But you can have people, even who are honest, but incompetent. Ako, naalala ko tuloy yung sinabi ni Senator Osmeña regarding President Noynoy and Secretary Petilla of the Energy Regulatory Commission. Sabi niya, they are honest, and Petilla is smart, but they are poor and lousy managers. Ayun. So, yung gusto mo ngayon, baski na Central Bank, hindi na pwede ngayon questionin. Ay, wag namang ganyan. But before we go ahead, we have to pause for a few reminders. Huwag kayong mawawala. We'll be right back.